Welcome to the EDO Breakthrough, the podcast for economic developers who are ready to do things differently. I'm your host, Sandy Dubay, and each episode brings practical strategies, inspiring stories, and maybe some creative approaches to help you strengthen your community and yourself. In today's mini episode, we're going to tap into something a little bit deeper than data, incentives, or deals. We're going to talk about this idea of belonging. Communities aren't just about the data and the people, they need to create community and place where people truly belong. We aren't looking for people to just have a place to rest their head at night. We are hoping that people give back and engage with their communities, because when I belong and feel that sense of belonging in a place, I'm going to donate my time. I'm going to donate my treasure. I'm going to, encourage others, encourage friends to volunteer and give back. And that's where we'll ultimately see great movement and momentum in a community. So obviously we know, and we talk about, economic development, jobs, investment, increase the tax base, all of these things. But beneath that, there's this basic element of being a human. And what is it that encourages us or gives us the desire to stay in a place, invest our time, and maybe treasure in a place, somewhere that we feel connected, included, like people want us and think of us there, and we feel seen as individuals. Not everything and every environment. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. I started rewatching Cheers, so I am very much like not this is where everybody knows your name. But maybe it is. Maybe that's what it is about community, is finding this place of belonging where, quote unquote, everyone knows your name. But belonging really does affect so many direct elements of economic development, whether it's workforce retention. If people during the pandemic, people that worked from anywhere maybe were intentionally disconnected. And so, how are we now in 2025, 2026, trying to find ways to connect, attract, retain our talented workforce? Volunteerism and civic participation. I've had the opportunity to serve with many people on different boards and committees over the years. And I'll never forget the first ask, the first time somebody asked if I would be willing to volunteer to serve on a board of directors. It was the American Red Cross for Jefferson County. And my initial response was, "Are you kidding? I don't know anybody. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to do anything." And ultimately, it led to years of volunteering and trying to give back and support in this whatever small way I could. Then there's this idea of tourism brand loyalty. And this plays an important role across all aspects of hospitality. When I, have the opportunity to land in a new city by train, by car, by plane, anything, I'm going to talk to locals. We're going to talk to everybody from the Uber driver to the server that might help us out at lunch. And my relationship and kind of initial connection with them is going to go so far to deciding and kind of painting a picture of what my next few hours or days are going to look like. If I have a server or an Uber driver that says, "Oh golly, there's nothing to do here, why did you come here?" Versus, "Oh my gosh, there is so much going on here, I love this community because X, Y, and Z, and it's the greatest place in the world, and I came here 20 years ago and I never left." And my gosh, I mean, that type of tourism ambassador brand loyalty, and this feeling of connection and then ultimately belonging can make such a huge difference to a visitor's experience. Obviously, belonging also matters when we talk about small business survival. Got another mini episode that we recorded, if you didn't catch it, about the power of shopping small and supporting small local businesses. Every single sale matters. So even if you just are intentional about supporting a small business once a week, in an area where you might have gone online to purchase that elsewhere, try to change your mind. When you are able to support that small business, it's reaffirming their goals because you are a customer of theirs. And it's definitely helping you feel more connected with this sense of belonging. When people feel like a community is their community, that's when we put roots down. That's when we raise a family. That's when we start a small business. And when that happens, those individuals in your community can become your biggest advocates. But this obviously can be challenging. When we go to market a community, we're not talking about, come to a place where you belong. Well, I don't even know what that means, but it's because it's this feeling that we have. And all too often, we focus our marketing efforts on all of the amenities that we have. But I want you to kind of take a step back, or laser in focus on how those amenities and can connect with the individuals to create this sense of belonging and this desire for a kind of attachment. Got a couple of ideas that I want to share about ways that your organization can help to foster that sense of belonging intentionally. The first is to tell community stories. And there is a fine line between balancing story and data, but identify some residents, some entrepreneurs, and get them to talk about why they're in your community, why they've chosen to invest, what drives their sense of belonging. Um, Hearing from others and hearing those stories will help to create pride in place. I want you to design programs that really invite participation. It's not just about attendance, it's about participation. Kind of like on social media, it's not about just the number of likes we get on something, it's about true engagement. I want you to think about opportunities for small businesses and residents to connect, whether it's on a committee or a project related to public art, or it's a mixer that the chamber is doing, or it's an event at a bazaar at a church. Think about these opportunities that really invite inclusive participation. Sometimes that can also be really tricky, and you might not know how to connect with people that don't look like you. But I encourage you to start one person at a time. If you don't have the connections in different kind of community segments, reach out to somebody who does. Start there, and then ultimately kind of develop these new relationships on your own. And finally, number three is creating space for everyone at the table. And belonging is, as you can imagine, kind of the opposite of gatekeeping. We want to engage with new people. As I just mentioned, if you don't know them, look outside your own circle, ask for help. One of the things, as I mentioned earlier, in kind of the sense of belonging and my first experience in board leadership, was because someone asked. That was it. That was all it took, was for them to ask. Belonging isn't an add-on. It really drives results. A community that feels connected and is there to help their neighbor, That's where resiliency comes in. That's where collaboration comes in. And well, that's where I think we can conquer all. Jobs bring people to a place, but belonging keeps them there. And when they're there, they'll begin to invest their time and their treasure to help build their future. Thanks for tuning in. As you head into your week, look for one opportunity to make someone in your community feel seen, feel valued, feel included. I think you'll find that those moments compound and they really are kind of this heartbeat of thriving places. If today's episode resonated, please share it with a colleague who is doing the work of building community. And until next time, keep moving your community forward. The EDO Breakthrough podcast is brought to you by PPR Strategies. PPR Strategies, standing for People and Places Reimagined, is a strategic consulting firm working specifically with EDOs and other place-based organizations. We share the unique stories of communities through communication, strategic planning, marketing, media relations, and more. Find our contact information in the show notes.